Hello and welcome to the New Indian Express. After a long legal battle of almost 6 years, justice has been served in the Pollachi sexual assault case. All the 9 culprits have been given life sentences until death. In an attempt to understand the landmark judgment, we talked to women personalities about what this case means and how the system needs to change so that every survivor gets justice. Hello and welcome to the New Indian Express. Now, we all heard about the Pollachi sexual assault case. All the 9 culprits have been given life imprisonment sentences. But could you tell us about how this verdict empowers women to stand up for themselves? Being public figures, could you give us a woman's perspective on what this verdict actually means?
This verdict will give a lot of confidence to the survivors and to the women of this country, because it gives us confidence that there is a system, where there is a mechanism where if at all we face such injustices, then there is a mechanism to ensure justice. So this is that way it gives a lot of confidence for the women of this country, and it gives a great relief. I'm sure that it will be a great relief for the survivors.
It's a much awaited justice delivered recently at the injustice done to innocent young girls in Pollachi long ago. The whole nation, especially Tamil Nadu, waited with bated breath for this judgment, and it was a real historic judgment, a real victory for women. Life sentence till death for all the 9 accused is the most weighted relief, not only for those victims, but all of us women.
See, so in cases like this, where as I was telling earlier, in cases of sexual violence, it's equally traumatic for the victims to come forward to face the trial. So in that case, what can the state machinery do? Or even in this Pollachi case, if you see, the investigation agency, they have done a commendable job. Now, they have not only encouraged these women to come forward, but also they've given a safe space. They've made sure that these women are very safe, their identity is not revealed, and in this specifically in this Pollachi case, if you see, the evidences were all electronic evidences, right? So to prove the authenticity of electronic evidences, it requires a very, very strenuous effort. And I would say that the investigation agency has done a wonderful job in this, right from encouraging these women, winning their trust, then making sure that the evidences were perfectly brought into the trial. So if you see, after the first victim, we had another 8 victims. Of course, we need to have still more women coming forward, but we had another 8 victims coming to register a complaint. So totally there were 8 cases. And I think this kind of encouragement is what is required with the proper judicial intervention, so that at the end of the day, the victims get the justice that they've been long waiting for. Okay. And what I personally feel from what we can see from this case, the entire process of this case, if you see, it's not just the trust or the encouraging the women, but also if you see, they were made sure, we had heard that there was a lot of counseling happening to the victims throughout this entire process. So they were made sure that it is absolutely not their fault. That's the biggest hurdle when it comes to the victims of sexual violence. This will also pave way for the prevention of crime. See, one after another, we had one Nirbhaya, then we have one Pollachi, and then we have one in West Bengal. So one after another, when the entire country shakes up, then we bring in the amendments in the existing laws, then we try to implement certain strict laws. Only after some time, we see that the same incident occurs. So if a sense of fear creates in the mind of the perpetrators that the women will come forward to give a complaint, and definitely they are going to be punished for this kind of an activity. I think this is a way forward in prevention of this kind of. So end of the day, getting justice is one aspect, that's fine, but what do we do to prevent? So that is what I see a big breakthrough in this case is if there is a proper support. You can see there was a good support from the judiciary, good support from the state missionaries. So if there was this kind of a support given to women, So when more and more women come forward, it will definitely pave way in preventing these kind of crimes.
Okay, now the time it took for this verdict to come through was almost 6 years. The case started in 2019 and now we are standing in 2025. So, what is your opinion on the time it took for this case, for this judgment to come through?
We are demanding a speedy process, justice process. That is what Justice after the Nirbhaya, the Justice Verma Committee report also suggests. So for that, the need is to have more budgetary allocations. You see, we have n number of legislations for the to ensure or safeguard the women's dignity, women's constitutional rights, women's safety and all. But these are all on papers. Actually, for the implementation of all such legislations needs budgetary allocation. System will have to be set up, whether it is for against dowry, there is a system needed, mechanism needed, or even to implement or for a better implementation of this anti-rape law, mechanisms need to be in place. And speedy justice process means the entire mechanism should be revamped. That should work on time. And delaying means with even for an forensic report, for example. Forensic report, delayed forensic report is sometimes in some of the cases which we are dealing is the main reason for the delay in the final hearing and getting justice for the survivor. So all these things, the police reform, judicial reforms, all things together can ensure justice to women, and that
justice delayed, justice denied. But we should also look into the practical aspects. You know, the intricacies of the case, the complexity involved, the number of witnesses, the number of evidences. So everything when taken into consideration, it is natural that at times there is a little delay in certain cases. But again, at the end of the day, when justice is done to the victims, I think that matters a lot. And yes, so I think this delay is, again, we cannot say it is because of any lack in the I mean in the judiciary or anything else, but it depends on the case, the complexity of the case. No, so certainly I would say there is a lot of reluctance. I mean, even in this case, we knew that there were more than 200 victims, but we ultimately saw only 8 victims coming forward. So as I said, so we still need a lot of support, a lot of encouragement, support, and especially the feeling of safety zone to be provided by the society, by the state missionaries, so that women come forward. So I still think it is going to take a very long time for us, because we need to work this in cooperation. You know, collectively together we have to work on this as a society. No, it's not enough. It's just that judiciary gives a verdict of justice to victims. It's just not one part of the society that's going to finally get this done. So we need to work collectively so that more and more women come forward to come forward for better justice.
Okay, a very notable thing about this case is that it was a 19-year-old's grit and courage that helped in the courts reaching the verdict for this case coming through. So, what would you say is the attitude of the woman right now? We know that a lot of survivors are out there. Do you feel that they are still very reluctant to come forward, or do you feel that with time, more women are coming forward? There is much less reluctance being shown right now.
See, there are many reasons why the victims or the survivors are reluctant to report the incidents with the police. One thing is that the police harassment is one issue. You cannot, if a survivor goes to the police station and then the experience of again and they see a rape survivor, she again and again being raped by the investigating nonsensical, non-sensitive investigation agencies. These are all, then the stigma attached with it. the culprit have no problem. The man, the society will not say that, oh, that man who was raped that girl. But yeah, if a woman, she is a survivor, and even at the age of 9, if she was attacked like this, even at the age of 90 also, people will say that, oh, she was raped when she was. So that stigma, then the way the society looked upon that survivor. These are all reasons, and the family dignity, family honor, everything is in the shoulders of daughters of that family. It was not the police, it was not the IB, it was finally it was the CBI. Why the police failed to conclude or ensure justice to that survivors. So in such a case, so these are the why it has gone to CBI. That reasons need to be addressed. The systems, whether it is police or whether it is judiciary, taking the longer time for the trial, then for all the investigation, initial investigation, 10 times inquiry by the IO, and so all those things are reasons for not reporting such crimes.
None of the girls shunned away from giving witnesses. This is an inspiration, a lesson for every girl to come out and then report any crime committed against her. Justice has done its wonderful part, and we are all so happy and relieved that the persons who have committed this heinous crime had been rightly punished. The news is that we should all get inspired by the bravery of these young girls, not to withstand or be silenced when a crime is committed against them, but to speak up openly, not to be afraid of any societal conditions, but to bring the victims before the law.
No, so certainly I would say there is a lot of reluctance. I mean, even in this case, we knew that there were more than 200 victims, but we ultimately saw only 8 victims coming forward. So as I said, so we still need a lot of support, a lot of encouragement, support, and especially the feeling of safety zone to be provided by the society, by the state missionaries, so that women come forward. So I still think it is going to take a very long time for us, because we need to work this in cooperation. Collectively together, we have to work on this as a society. No, it's not enough. It's just that judiciary gives a verdict of justice to victims. It's just not one part of the society that's going to finally get this done. So we need to work collectively so that more and more women come forward to come forward for better justice.
Okay, now whenever we hear rape, we see an extreme politicization of the issue. The opposition party and the ruling party get into a huge tussle over this issue, or whenever a rape happens in any state in India. So even in this case, the two major parties in the state have engaged in a tussle. So do you feel that there is always an over politicization of this issue?
Actually, this is the unfortunate and this is the tragedy of Indian women. If such cases, and particularly of the cases which the media picks up, then only it will, the politicians, they enter into the scene. So then first they will look, the culprit is belongs to which side, which party, which the ruling party or the opposition, or even if or ruling party, which if now these are all coalitions, so which party and which area, all these things will come up, and political parties very non-seriously they take up this issue, not to repeat such cases, but to make political gain out of this unfortunate or such a tragedies of the women. This is one, you see, and the political parties need to recognize the women of this country as equal citizens.
Okay, thank you all for sitting down with us and giving your valuable views on what this issue really is, and giving your opinion on what this verdict, how this verdict actually impacts women, how this verdict actually motivates women. Thank you.